They say being 18 is like the ultimate rite of passage. You're an adult, you can make your own medical decisions, you can drive wherever you want, you're not technically, legally held back by your parents anymore. There's so many things you can do. But are you really an adult if you can't take part in one of America's adult favorite pastimes, drinking? So, there are many benefits and negatives to lowering the drinking age. Well, I'm sure we all have our own opinions. I am here to demonstrate some facts, and then you can continue to keep the same decision or make a new one. So, lowering the drinking age can have a lot of positives. Like, colleges could create safe spaces at events where you could practice safe drinking habits. High schools, when they teach you about life lessons, they could also talk about safe drinking habits. Now, they don't have to say, like, I think you should drink. And I'm not saying schools should give out alcohol, because that's probably not a good idea. But encouraging people to have safe spaces to practice good behavior will help long-term people to have less alcoholism and to just be safe when they're drinking. It also causes kids to be less rebellious. Because we all met people in high school who drank underage because they were like, we're cool, we're adults now. And I'm like, you're 15. But it can cause kids to be less rebellious because it seems like they are adults, when legally they are. So no one's feeling the need to compensate and really try to be older than they are. It can also lead kids to make worse decisions. We all met people in high school who drank who made terrible decisions. I'm talking about those people, you know who I'm talking about. So, kids already make bad decisions, so if you lower the drinking age, it could get even worse. Also, children will be exposed to alcohol earlier. When you see like underage kids drinking, and when you see 21-year-old people drinking, and then 18-year-olds see that and they go, oh, that's how you're supposed to drink. And if you lower the drinking age, then 18-year-olds will be drinking, and then like 16, 15, even 14-year-olds will be like, oh, that's how you drink. Because each generation is looking up to the next. There are many positives though. Like colleges and high schools could create safe drinking environments. That way people can learn how to be safe about it, what is socially appropriate, rather than just throwing you to the bar when you're 21. High school seniors' alcohol use declines from 1985 to 2010. This is the best graph I could find. People who drinking has gone down in high school since 1985. Well, I will also say alcohol concentration has gone up since then as well. But it seems like people are drinking less, which leads to safer decisions. It also leads alcohol to be less coveted. Because you're less trying to be like your mom, you're less trying to be like your dad, you're less trying to be like an adult, because you already are making adult decisions, and you're not like, well, I can do everything else, well, why can't I do this one thing? So, and article by C. Carpenter and Dobkin, 2011, the minimum legal drinking age in Public Health Journal. Economic Perspective talks about how lowering the drinking age being lower in other countries has led to less alcoholism, because children grow up and they learn correct social norms when it comes to drinking as well. Will Wilkinson's and Bottom Up by 2008 Forbes.com also talks about how alcoholism rates go down in homes that have proper drinking etiquette, whether that's their parents or whether they're drinking at a younger age. The more you grow up with proper etiquette, the less you have terrible etiquette. This can also lead to an increase in peer pressure though. If you grew up in a household that like doesn't drink, or you don't drink because you don't think that's appropriate, or you don't want to be around people who drink, that also leads people to being left out. In school, like you may not want your kid to be told about drinking and what is appropriate and what is not, because you don't think that's appropriate. This leads children to feel left out and also socially disbarred from the rest of their peer group. Megan Brennan wrote The Alcohol Consumption Incorporated Increasing Views of Unhealthy U.S. Alcohol Consumption in 2013 by AMASSN.org. Talks about how children see and replicate whatever behavior they are, whatever they see, they replicate. So if we lower the drinking age and people are acting terrible, all they're gonna see is how awful they can act, and it only gets worse from there. So, I presented the pros and cons, and I hope that you can make an informed decision about drinking.